everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Heidi from My Reading Life, and I'm here today to film my TBR check-in for the month of October. So this is the big reveal of which books I decided to get off the Ancient TBR, move them along out of my house. But before we get to that exciting bit of information, maybe we should do that first, because otherwise I'm going to give it away when I do my balance sheet. So in the month of October, I read a total of 11 books, but only 8 of those were off my shelf, which is still great. 8 books coming up, having read off my shelves is a wonderful number. So I was very pleased because the month started off really slowly in terms of my reading, but it picked up there at the end. I think because I was reading a bunch of quite large books, and so it took a while to, get to the end, but I was making steady progress on it throughout. So let's just get to what you've all been waiting for. What did I decide to remove from my Ancient TBR and just get out of the house? Well, the day we went through the 2 shelves, I had said there were 6 books that I ended up getting rid of right then. And one of them was the Sherlock Holmes, because print too small. And the other was this urban fantasy book, Fair Games by Patricia Briggs. So those are gone. There were 2 books also that I just got rid of because they were in poor condition and they were kind of moldy, water damage. I didn't want them in my house anymore. And then there were 2 that shouldn't have been on the TBR to start with. They needed to go in my main authors section of my library, and so those have been moved. So these are the remaining books that I have decided at this time I'm not interested in reading for whatever reason. I'm going to pass them along, and if I ever want to read them in the future, they will still be out there, I'm quite sure. So those are The Golden Sun by Shilpi Somaya Gowda, The Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde by Junot Diaz, The Revised Fundamentals of Caregiving by Jonathan Evison, The Singer's Son by Emily St. John Mandel, The End of the Affair by Graham Greene, Inside Out Girl by Tish Cohen, Memoirs of an Imaginary Friend by Matthew Dix, Russian Short Stories, the Penguin edition, Great American Short Stories. I went back and forth on whether or not I should get rid of this one or not, and I decided to get rid of it because most of these short stories are available online for free. So why do I need to keep that? I don't. The Best American Essays, 1993. I just felt like it's too old for these essays. They're too far behind me, and I have other essay collections that I'm far more interested right now to read, so those have got to go. This book, Amy and Isabel by Elizabeth Strout, because once I got looking at it, it is water damaged, and so I'm just going to pass that one along and get a new copy if and when I get to that particular one. How to Breathe Underwater by Julie Oranger. Probably a fantastic book, but short stories I'm just not excited by. Uses for Boys by Erica Lorraine Scheidt. And that one I just had no interest in anymore. So that's it. So what are my totals then? What are my totals for the month? They are, I read 8 off my shelf. I brought in 20 books, as you will have seen in my gigantic birthday book haul. So yeah, 20 books in. I unhauled 19 books though. So this is the best month ever, guys. -7. Look at that. -7, bringing my TBR count down to 123. So I started the year at 146 and I'm now down to 123, which I consider a tremendously big improvement in my TBR status. I also want to just show you my books read chart. I've been coloring in, as I read a book, I color in a square, and the gray ones are nonfiction and the blue ones are fiction. And you can see my quantity of nonfiction this year has been tremendous, even higher than normally I read. The little pink squares, by the way, are poetry. So I am really excited by the amount of nonfiction I've been reading this year. I've been really, really excited by nonfiction. Starting out with the BookTube Prize and all the great reading I did for the BookTube Prize, and then Book Naturalist Book Club, which has been wonderful and really introduced me to some tremendous books. And then just, I don't know, just like continuing on, I've just found so many topics that I wanted to read about, and so much great nonfiction out there to sort of satisfy that urge. So let's just look at the shelf, shall we? It's right here behind me. So this shelf, excuse me, this second shelf here, now this is all that remains from the Ancient TBR that we started with at the beginning of the year. And for those of you who are new and don't know what I'm talking about, the Ancient TBR were all the books that I had not yet read, that I had previously to starting my BookTube channel. And for the purposes of this project, I said that was anything I had picked up prior to 2019. And if it was still on the shelf, I wanted to at least have tried all of the books or made some kind of decision about these books by the end of 2021. So this is what I had, 2 shelves full from the Ancient TBR, if you remember when we started in January of 2021. So this is all that I have left right here. So I feel very pleased with the status of this Ancient TBR now, because the books that are left on here are books that I do want to read at some point. Like, I literally held every single one of these books and thought about whether or not they were books that I wanted to try. I don't know if I will like them all, but they are books that I sincerely have interest in, still have excitement about. So that is really where I wanted to be with these books. So I feel very pleased with my progress with the Ancient TBR, because really we all just want to focus on the exciting new stuff that we bring into our home. And I don't mean necessarily that the books themselves are new, but when you bring a book into your home, it's new to you. And there's that sense of excitement of this thing that I just got that I really want to, I really want to focus on. And so that's the kind of excitement that I want to always feel about my TBR. So I'm starting to get there now, and that feels really, really good. So that's where we're at with the TBR. I hope this satisfies everyone's curiosity about what I decided to keep and what I decided to get rid of. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you are all finding some great books to read, and I will talk to you later.